How many folks are here for the unveiling for Thomas Colvin today? By a show of hands. Thank y'all. All right, thank y'all for being here. This is Mural City Coffee Company. We want to thank them for hosting this event. This is Thomas Colvin. This is an unveiling today. My name is David Summers. I'm from 96.9 The Legend, WDJR here in Dothan. I've been a friend of Tommy's for 45 years. We met at age 13 months. Anybody get that? Never mind. So we've known each other a long time. I've been in broadcasting for 42 years. And so one thing I know about is songs, and if it's a good song tells a story. Whether it's a happy story, a sad story, something that it elicits from you is a good feeling or a feeling of some kind. A painting is typically going to do the same thing. Tommy is one of those who wants to know, what do you feel, what do you see, what do you hear when you see one of his paintings? Tommy has 7 different paintings here on display, and those are just only a handful of his amazing work. Tommy is also known as the toothbrush guy. I saw Tommy one day and his teeth were the most beautiful color blue. And I said, no, let's direct that to the canvas. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So anyway, I think you're going to enjoy this. This unveiling is another one of Tommy's amazing projects. And so it is easy to know the artist when you know his work. And that's exactly who Thomas Colvin is. Please welcome Thomas Colvin.
First of all, thank you all for coming out. So many of my friends from many, many years ago, 50-something years, 40 years, and friends I've met at work. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And being back here in Dothan gives me the opportunity to do it in front of people like you. So for those of you that know me, you know that Tim talked a lot longer than I planned to. And like he said, hopefully the work will speak for itself. So with that being said, the title of this piece is The Caged Bird Sings. And I hope you all get something from it. I'm going to ask my youngest sister, who happens to be here, to come up and help me pull this cloth down and do the unveil. And hopefully it won't come crashing down. Zach? Yeah, it is.
It's a really good.
Zach? Oh, he's getting a ladder. Oh, he didn't tell me that part. Okay, so in the interim, Tim, that song and dance we talked about.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. How's everybody doing? Good, great. The joke. Yeah, make room for the ladder. So instead of Angie, I've asked Zach to do the unveil. You know, I thought about.
Do you want to hold on to this side?
Nah, let it go.
All right.
I need to move this.
There are just tiny little paper clips up there.
They're strong though. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So before I say anything else, a very special thanks to my friend Michael Kidwell, who did the framing on this piece. Anybody who needs any kind of framing done, please be sure to check him out. He's on the other end of Foster Street. So anybody have any questions? I'll be here for a while. Not all week, but thank you guys for coming out. Put that in that chair. Put that in the chair. This particular one, The concept is from 2016. Yeah.
Thomas, can you explain how you got started with Toothbrush?
Yeah. When I was in college, I saw a guy who was doing these beautiful works, and he was using an airbrush. Well, I couldn't get my airbrush to splatter. So I'm sitting in the painting room, second floor, Alabama A&M University, in the art building, and I just happened to go downstairs, and a friend of mine had a toothbrush and was putting texture on a lithography stone. I rushed home, got a toothbrush, and came back, and the first painting took me 5 weeks. And since then, it fits. It fits. It's very slow, it's very methodical, but that kind of fits me. Come on, Odie, you had 2 weeks. I know you came up with more than one question. And yes, it was done with a toothbrush. It's on the wall. You might want to get up close. You got a wall big enough? You got a wall big enough? Okay, it's right there. Somebody catch him in case he falls.
Hey, Thomas, I think somebody asked already how long it took you, but we didn't hear the answer.
The actual work took 2.5 months. 2.5 months, but it wasn't a consistent thing. I had some health issues, went in the hospital, which slowed me down, actually twice. But I finished it just before the second trip to the hospital. So the concept from 2016, developing it in my head, and actually doing the work took about 2 months.
Thomas, when you're doing an area, do you cover the other areas that are already done?
Well, that's a trick. That's a trick of the trade. I don't want you walking out of here trying to copy stuff.
Yeah, I might want to do a competition.
Yeah, I know you're gonna. Where's Susie? Susie, keep an eye on him.
Susie, had to go.
Oh, she had to leave. You're unattended?
Yeah, I did her leaving me.
All right, everybody, be careful. Questions? Comments? My amazing cousin. All right, like I said, there's 7 pieces around. You're more than welcome to walk around, take a look. If you got any questions, I'll be here for a while. Thank you, sir.
Hey, was that and Jimi Hendrix? What do you call that? Inspiration? No. Now that I'm telling you, change the microphone, put a Stratocaster on it.
It fits.
Oh,
It fits.
go back and look at some old photos of him. That's exactly how he scrunched his face up and burned his guitar.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Nice.
Back around 2015, I had to move home because my mom was dealing with some health issues with dementia. And having grown up here in Dothan, I never saw myself moving back. So some of the challenges of being back here, after having been in some very progressive towns, it felt like I was caged in at times. So that's kind of where it started. Particularly the flowers, the African violets. They have been genetically modified so that while they're still called African violets, there is a visual change to them, to their appearance. And I think that's only been done in the last 30 or 40 years or so, that they were changed. So having to move back here, initially I was trying to make some changes and realized that, painting is what I do. And painting what is obvious in my heart is something that I have to do. I can't just change it around and paint what's cute or would make everybody happy. because there's a lot of things in this world that we also have to deal with that are not about happiness. And more often than not, this is probably the first painting where I've actually said what I think or what I intended. More often than not, I prefer that people will just put their own life's experiences into it. This piece is called The Caged Bird Sings, in reference to me being the caged bird, and this is my opportunity to sing. The singing is my painting. It's those expressions that I put on canvas. That's my singing. Actually, the woman who posed for it is standing behind you. And primarily it's because I don't think that a bird would necessarily represent me. A lot of people would focus on the bird itself and miss the whole point. And then I had to choose between having a female or having a male. Had I put a male in that same position, it would have come across differently. Having a female there and having her singing into a microphone, to me says more about what I hope to do. It kind of reflects that side that you hope things are going to get right and things are going to be better and that it's going to all work out. Being here in Dothan, having lived in Atlanta, having lived in Huntsville, very progressive areas. And I grew up here in Dothan at a time when there wasn't much progress going on, especially for people who look like me. And a lot of those memories stuck with me. So it was difficult to move back and see some signs that maybe things hadn't moved in the direction I thought they had. So I really didn't want to come back, but ultimately, as my dad would say, you have to do what you have to do. And for me, this is what I have to do. I have to paint. I have to create.